Hello, welcome to lesson 8.2, trig ratios, find sides. So in this lesson, we're going to be using trig to find the sides of right triangles. So just a recap of last time, we label our triangle, our right triangle, with hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent. And if you don't know how to do that, go back to 8.1. And then we use SOHCAHTOA, which just means we either use sine, which is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine, which is adjacent over hypotenuse, or we use tangent, which is opposite over adjacent. So let's do example number 1. Oh, but first let's look at this calculator tip. So you will need a calculator, so go ahead and grab that now. And let me show you what I mean by making sure it's in degrees and not radians. So we're going to put in sine of 30, and we should be getting 0.5 if we're in degrees mode. So we're going to put in sine of 30 into the calculator. So sine 30 and hit equals, and see how you get 0.5. So I know I'm in degrees mode, okay? If it was in radians, you would be getting some other number, right? A negative number. That's not going to make any sort of sense. So make sure you're in degrees. All right. If you need help changing it to degrees, let me know. All right. So number 1, we are going to, there we go. All right, so we're going to find the missing side, and we're going to round to the nearest tenth. So first, we're going to label our H, O, and A. So H is across from the right angle. O is opposite the angle they're giving us, right? They're giving us 40. We can actually make that theta if that helps. And then our last side is A. Now, after you labeled H, O, and A, there's going to be 2 sides with information, either a number or an X. That would be our hypotenuse, so underline that. And that would be our opposite, so underline that. See how adjacent has nothing there? So we can't use A. So what ratio has an H and an O, right? Or O and H. That would be our sine ratio. So we're going to use our sine. So write down sine of theta is equal to O over H. Again, once I've underlined what I have, what information I have, either a number or an X, I find the ratio with those 2 letters. And in this case, it's sine. Okay, so copy that down. Now I'm going to just fill in. So sine, and then theta is 40. That's our angle they're giving us in the question. Our O is X, and our H is 14. Now that I've filled it in, this is now an equation, and we have to solve for X. So a sine of 40, we're going to put that into the calculator, equals X divided by 14. If I need X by itself, what's the opposite of dividing by 14? That would be multiplying by 14. Whatever I do to the right, I'm also going to do to the left here. So those cross out, and I'm left with X, so perfect. So now this is what I'm going to put in the calculator. 14 times sine of 40. Okay, let's put that in the calculator. 14 times sine of 40. All right. 14 times sine 40 and hit equals. So we get a long number. It says round to the nearest tenth. So this tenth place that I'm hovering over here, we look after that. Since after that is a 9, this goes up. So instead of 8.9, that's going to be 9.0. So our answer is 9.0. All right, I'm going to do one more example. Actually, let's look. I'm going to do three examples, and you're going to do the last 3 by yourself. All right, so here's another one. So let's start by labeling. So our hypotenuse is here. Our opposite would be here, and our adjacent is here. So we have an O and H again. So this time we're going to be using, yes, sine again. So we're going to write down sine of theta is equal to O over H. And now we're going to fill in. Okay, remember, if you want to label theta, you can as well. So our theta, it's always going to be that angle they're giving us, is 62. O this time is 14, and H this time is X. So I want to show you this one as well, because see how the last one, the X was on the top? All we had to do was multiply by the denominator to get X by itself. But over here, x is on the bottom. It's in the denominator this time. So how do I solve for x? Okay, so I'm going to use butterfly. So I'm going to turn this into a fraction. Sine of 62 over 1, just draw an over 1 there, because any number is the same thing. Like 5 is equal to 5 over 1, right? So now I can butterfly. That means sine 62 times x is equal to 14 times 1, which is just 14. And I'm almost there. I need to get x by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by sine over 62. So that gets me x by itself. And I'm going to write it over here so I have a little bit more room. Scroll up even. There we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this part in the calculator, right? X is now by itself. So I'm going to put in the calculator 14 divided by sine 62. 14 divided by sine 62. So 14 divided by sine 62 gives me 15.85 again. So if I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, the tenth place is right here. The next number is a 5. So this number goes up. Instead of 15.8, it's going to be 15.9. So x is 15.9. All right, so we've got one more example that I'm going to do, and then you're going to try the last 3 by yourself. We're going to go a little bit faster. All right, but that last one that we're going to go slow. So example number 3, we have our hypotenuse. We have our opposites. And we have our adjacents. And so the information that we have here is an x. So we're going to underline the hypotenuse. And it's our a this time. We're going to underline a. Okay. So they're giving us x 14. See, this o has nothing there, so we can't use o. We can only use a and h. Let's look up to see what has, oh, I put it up here at this page too. What has a and h in it? That would be cosine. So let's write cosine of theta is equal to a over h. And now after I decide which one I'm going to use, just start filling in. So cosine of 20 is equal to 14 over x. And then we have another one of these where if the x is on the bottom, I'm going to use butterfly. So I'm going to butterfly and say cosine 20 times x is equal to 1 times 14. There's a lot of problems with 14 in it today. All right, so now if I want x by itself, right? This is saying cosine 20 times x. I need x by itself, so it's the opposite of times cosine 20. Divide by cosine of 20. Basically, if x is on the top, you're going to be multiplying. If x is on the bottom, you're going to end up dividing. That's what you're going to keep doing, okay? So 14 divided by cosine 20. 14 divided by cosine 20 gives us 14.89. Tenths place is right here at an 8, but this 9 is to go up, so it's 14.9. All right, so I want you to go ahead and pause the video, try 4, 5, and 6, and see if you're right. All right, we're going to go over 4, 5, and 6. We're going to do it a little bit faster, too. All right, so let's start by labeling H, O, and A. They're giving us H and A, so we're going to be using cosine. So cosine of 35 is equal to A is X, and H is 17. Sorry, I did not do this first part. If you want to still always do that, cosine of theta equals A over H, or just like I just did, you can skip it if you're getting comfortable with it. So this is an equation. Let's solve for x by, or let's get x by itself by multiplying both sides by 17. So those 17s cancel out. I've got x by itself. So I'm putting in 17 times cosine 35. 17 times cosine 35. And this is 13.9. Okay, number 5. Here, if you want to pause here, sorry, let me not go so fast. But there we go. Remember, you can always rewind, pause if you need it. All right, so we have our hypotenuse, our opposite, our adjacent, and we are now using tangent. So let's write tangent of theta is O over A. So tangent of 52 is equal to x over 10. X is on the top, so all we're doing is multiplying by 10. Boom. And we're going to put in 10 times tangent of 52. 10 times tangent 52. So this rounds to 12.8. Here, I'll pause before I go to the next one. In case you're, pausing as you go, that's fine too. So hopefully you now are pausing to do number 6. All right, let's do number 6. All right, so hypotenuse. Again, if you need help with the H, O, and A, you can go back to 8.1 or you can come see me and I can help. So we're going to be using tangent as our last one. So tangent of theta is O over A. Our theta is 41. O is 11. A is X. So last time that X is on at the bottom here. So if X on the bottom, butterfly, that means tangent of 41 times X. Remember, our first wing is this first diagonal here. Our second wing is this second diagonal, which is 1 times 11, which is just 11. So I need X by itself. I'm going to divide by tangent of 41. Whenever we are solving for X, we say, okay, what's happening with X? It's being multiplied by something. The opposite is dividing by that something. So that gets us X by itself over here. Okay, and then we're putting in our calculator 11 divided by tangent of 41. 11 divided by tangent 41. Whoops, 41, there we go. And then this rounds to, right, this 5 makes the 6 go up to 7, so 12.7. Here, I'm going to put it over here, 12.7. All right, so if you have any questions, please let me know, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye.